are live with our sectional recap and regional preview. We have we have Nick's cat. What's his name?
Her name is Sasha.
Sasha. I'm sorry.
He loves wrestling. Yeah. Oh, she kicked me.
And we have Nick and his cat.
Sasha.
Sasha.
Sorry. He loves wrestling. Yeah. Oh, she kicked me.
And then Mike Reiser here. And we have Nick and his cat. Oh, Sasha. I better.
Yeah. Hey, we got some reverb coming in. Real quick, Bam. Hope you're watching, Bam. Hope you're watching. Take a look at this sparkling, clean room. Beautiful.
Yes. Hopefully Bam is watching. We'll make sure we tweet at him.
Also, Bam, I also got complaints from Brian and Shannon Walton, as well as Karma Lee. But don't worry, guys, it's clean now.
Just that portion. Everything else is on the other side of the bed.
Erroneous!
I would ask you to pan the camera, but I don't want to even know what else is in your room. So, anyway, good start. We haven't been on for a while. We'll probably be doing this weekly now that things are settling down a little bit. We only have one match a week now. It's the big ones. Mike, where were you last week? What did you see sectional-wise where you were at?
I went to the Crown Point sectional. I got to do some broadcasting, which was pretty fun. It was a full day. I think everything pretty much stayed to what the seeds were. A couple good matches in the finals. Lucas Scott and Zach Lorick was really good at 152. Lucas Scott, that was the second time he had beat him this year. 220. Alex Kukuruga and Justin Akers was really good. But other than that, I think everything really stayed to seed there. Crown Point got all 14 through. The little guys dominated where they dominated at 60. Ike James looked really good at 82. Colton Cummings, Rehan Uribe was really good at 13. 106 I thought was going to be closer. Jacob Moran and Jose Diaz. I thought that was going to be a closer match, and Moran just kind of took it to him. But Moran's really smooth on his feet. He looked really good. The Dembowskis lost to Crown Point guys. Ian lost to John Moran for like the third time, I think. And Tristan and Dalen Sherg were really close for the third time. And those have kind of been DAC in their duel and then sectionals. And I'm assuming they're going to be in regionals this week too.
You're going to be heading back to Crown Point, I assume?
Yep, I'm going to do some more broadcasting. For everyone if anyone does go out there, it's Region Sports Networks like me, Bill Hawkins, and the guy from Region Sportsnet, which is Chris Ramirez, and just throwing out a bunch of wrestling stuff and talking rankings and talking matches, and it flowed really good. I did a little bit before, and you think you're gonna be really. I thought I was gonna be really nervous just because you gotta remember you talk about kids and stuff, and I think sometimes you can be overcritical of things, but I think I did a pretty good job. Everyone I talked to that listened thought it was pretty good, so no one told me I did a bad job, which is good.
That's good. What so is you and Hawkins, you guys give all the juicy information about kids out?
I think that the back and forth is good. We kind of talk different things, and the guy kind of asks a lot of questions, so it's good. We kind of go back and forth and talking. 4-time state champs because we have a possibility. We kind of plugged Chad Red and Nick Lee a little bit. They were interested to see if Nick had wrestled Saturday, and he did, which I think sets up maybe one of the most anticipated showdowns that I can remember in recent history. That's something that I look forward to. I don't know your general fan. I think we've got 32 pages on Nick Lee wrestling on the forum, which obviously I'm not the only one that's excited about it. We talk about kind of where kids are at. Obviously Crown Point, that area has a lot of kids that go to RWA, so he's got a lot of insight on that. Those are a lot of kids that train with him in the off season. So One of the other things we talked about was Scott Vlink's. This is his last year coaching, so that Crown Point job will be opening up, and we kind of, me and him talked a little bit off camera about, the possibilities of who could be there and who won't be there. But, I think it's a lot of like early talk on it, but I think that's a good program for someone that if you're looking to take over someone we said that they had 11 returning guys out of their lineup. They're going to be losing Sherg. Briggs, they're 32, and they're 52, Zach Lorick. So, we kind of talked about that a little bit. It was definitely fun to just be on there and just kind of shoot the breeze of wrestling with a guy that's in the know and kind of get a different feel.
Definitely. That's interesting news. It's kind of been hush-hush about the link, but that's a pretty big job opening. I'd compare that to, when Warren Central opened up last year. That's and obviously Perry Meridian, that's, right up there. That's a top 10 program year in, year out that's going to be open. So there'll be some names that I'm sure apply for it, and curious of what goes on with that position. That one would be definitely keeping our ears to the ground to see who's going to take over that program. And they have 4 freshmen in the lineup that are pretty good, to say the least. Just looking at one of them has 1 loss, the other has 3 losses going into regional. So it could be it's a job that people are going to want. So.
And part of the thing, and just kind of touch base on that again too, I'm excited for the opportunity. I know one of Scott Vlink or Coach Vlink's policies, they don't wrestle over Christmas break. So maybe a new guy comes in there and maybe they get into a big tournament, maybe Mooresville, Mater Dei, or an Al Smith, or something over the break, and maybe they can accept that invitation to IHSWCA, which they've declined a couple times. Because I'm sure that they'll be in the running this year with the amount of guys they have and what they should be putting at the semi-state. In my opinion, I think that they could put a handful of guys there.
Oh yeah, they're usually always in that range to be talked about. I don't know if they were. I think they filled in they had lost some seniors last year, and I don't think they were. They might have been right on the edge. I don't know if they were actually in the running or not. So no, that'd be two very good points. That they're a team that you don't get the best read on because they aren't at some of the bigger holiday events. They do go to the Trikoff, but past that and the DAC, they wrestle a good schedule. There's no just with those 2 events. The DAC and the Trikoff, but you add in a holiday tournament, Al Smith, Mooresville, wherever. You can get a better read on the guys. So, Nick, how was Avon? Did you guys get out there alive? Any altercations with the home people there?
No, man, it was fine. We had a good time with Avon, and we wrestled pretty bad. We were down a little bit. We were wrestling pretty bad until the final round there, and then we kind of strung together. I think we went 13 for 14 in the finals, which helped us pull away with it. But it was stressful there for the first 3 or 4 hours of the day. A couple good matches there. Mills and Garcia was great, as you would expect. Weaver looked dominant. Chattington kind of put up a fight there in the beginning, and then Weaver ended up getting a fall with about 10 seconds left in the third. Mulkey again looked dominant. Looked like he was going to get a fall in the finals there, but it was called him out of bounds. Both shoulder blades were in bounds, but they say toe stepped out. That was a frustrating call as a coach, at least for me. But Mulkey ended up winning in the finals against Weddle of Ben Davis 4-1, which was a decent one for him. Huckins basically put it on Pritchett. Let's see here. Conley looked good in the semis, but couldn't pull it off against Neil Malloy. Got majored, it looks like, 10-2. So if anything stuck out in my head here. Jacob Clark's match was good. Glover won 5-0 over Meyer, who he beat him at conference this year. Walton kind of just pinned everybody because he's garbage. Yeah, Frank
just pin somebody.
all he does. That's all he does. He's garbage.
Singles and headlocks.
Singles and chin whips, baby. He's the chin whip city's coming to a town near you.
Heading to Mooresville this weekend, making the chin whip.
Chin whip city. You'll probably hear me yell it at least once. You'll hear squeeze and then chin whip city. That's my go-to.
No.
Andrew Frank won at 82. Avon. McCormick won. I want to say there was Larson and Henson. There was one that was an overtime match, I thought. See if I can find it here. Yeah, King and Cullen at 45. That was the match I was thinking about. That one was back and forth. There was a reversal call that got changed to an escape at the end of the third, so it was 1-1 going into overtime, and King pulls it off. It was impressive. That was probably the most exciting match. The people were just on their feet, screaming. You know, like we're coaching in the third place match, and we're over here. We're barely watching our kid wrestling. He went to overtime. We're barely watching our kid because we're watching King and Cullen wrestle. So it was a good time. And I know I wish I could have watched more and had more insight on other guys, but I was busy coaching our dudes, so I got to watch their matches most of the time. And I don't want to sit here and just talk about Brownsburg kids because I'm sure everyone's annoyed by that enough as it is. So, I mean, it was a good tournament. I mean, nothing really crazy happened. We were sitting there wrestling and got out at a decent time. Like I said, the only thing that kind of kept me busy was we were down, I think, by 17 points going into the final round, and we knew we had to wrestle well and get some luck, and I think we ended up going. So we won 13. I think Avon only won 5, I think, maybe 6. So we were able to kind of come back, and we got a lot of falls where we needed them. So.
Yeah, that's a tough round to come back in. I know can't remember what it was. It was the Northeast 8 where after the semifinals, Leo had a lead on Belmont, and then you're kind of looking at how it's going to play out. Belmont had some guys in the consolation rounds that were going to get some big points.
Just get a box, Mom.
So, where did you go this weekend, Annabella? What wrestling meet did you go to? She doesn't even know. Okay.
I will say I did get to see my. Hold on, I'm getting some input here from Mama Walton. No garbage, pure talent. So that's.
He's obviously not relying on looks. I know that.
Oh, don't say that about Mama Walton's baby. She'll kill you. I will say though, I got to deal with one of the frustrating things about the team stuff being determined by an individual thing is I remember at one point, like I said, we weren't watching our own kid wrestle for third. We're more worried about, is Danville going to upset the Avon kid, so that'll help us? So I was rooting for a Danville kid to beat an Avon kid to show that we're the better team. The logic just blows my mind on that. But that's a conversation that old Dane Fueling started on the message board that you can go read 4 pages about.
Yes.
Hey, it's a fast mover on the message board too.
It is. Get over there. Get over there quick.
Yes. No, we can go into that all day. It really didn't. I mean, at Carroll, pretty much everything went to chalk. I was doing the thing. I was just kind of looking what top 4 seeds didn't place, and there were about 5 top 4 seeds that didn't advance, and there are a couple weight classes where some seeded guys like a 3 beat a 2 or something. So that's never anything real major. It was pretty much, not really any ranked guys getting after it yet. Should be some good matches. I know at New Haven, Doster beat Rhodes, handed him his first loss, and add those two. You throw in Rapel, who was a state qualifier last year, so add those two at regional. That'll be fun. Should be some good regional matches. I know the message board has been blowing up about the SAC whole conference versus Carroll, so that'll be fun this weekend because a certain majorette will be, I guess, probably yelling and screaming against every Carroll kid that steps on the mat because he has some vendetta against Carroll. So I know, I'm sure he's watching too.
That's a nice little rivalry going on too. You can get 12 pages of that on the message board too.
Yes. and how he's taught me everything I know. I guess I don't know. I'm beyond confused how he's taught me all this stuff that I've never really even talked to him. Anyway, back on good things. Any I guess a couple upsets. 145's starting to be a crazy weight class. Um, Jared Timmerman got beat by Jordan Vaughn Saturday, and Joe Lee got beat by Austin Bethel Saturday also. So, Mike, what's your comments on 145-pound weight class? Is it the most unpredictable weight you can?
No, I think 106 is still pretty unpredictable. I think those guys, the guys at the top are all pretty good. I think obviously Austin Bethel has some big wins. I was surprised. I was really surprised to see him lose the week before the sectional to Wilson. And not to say that Wilson isn't good, because I thought he looked really good at Dallas Smith also. But he took a loss there. He injury defaulted out, but he was also losing. They said Joe Lee was up and then got chin whipped. Nick probably cheering for chin whips.
Chin Whip City over here. Here's what I'm going to tell you. We heard that news, and my first reaction was, I hope Nick Lee never has to wrestle Bethel, because from what I can tell you is Austin Bethel is the kryptonite to anyone named Lee. So
Been up to 95 to wrestle Garrison Lee next.
yeah, oh god, it'll be a massacre. Garrison will beat him 95% of the time, but there'll be that one match where he's just going to toss him.
Yeah. So I think that just kind of goes to the depth. And I kind of posted something about that this week about like creating depth in the state. I think that's where Indiana was kind of lacking. Like some of the other states are very deep in weight classes where it's like, it's always sometimes it's been very clear cut who the champ's going to be. This year I think we have a lot of depth, which is good for the state, and I still think Joe is really good. Obviously, looks like I made the right call now, putting Brad Laughlin number 1 at that point. I know I got a little bit. Some guys gave me the business a little bit, but Jordan Vaughn is a state finalist. He was in the championship last year. I don't think that I'm surprised by that. I think, like I said, all those guys. There's gonna be some bad draws for people. I think come semi-state time with the depth of that weight for where those guys are at.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I haven't even looked at how. Hopefully, Timmerman doesn't get the death draw again. He's got like 3 years in a row where he's drawn like James and then Cash 1 year.
Yeah, I think this year he's more the death draw. I don't know outside of him and Vaughn at Newcastle, I don't know if there's another guy that's ahead of those two.
Nah, it's a pretty significant drop, but at the same time,
maybe Kane Rust could do something.
Yeah, he's not.
They're in the same one, right?
Rust would be in the same regional, so they wouldn't grow. But he's not even in the top 8 semi-state rankings. So,
and just kind of 45 to even continue a thought. The guy everyone's overlooking and he's undefeated is Isaac Eicher.
Yep. The Amish assassin.
Yeah.
Eicher's tough and he's big. He's strong. He throws bales of hay around for fun. He's kind of deceiving. You don't see a lot of him. Obviously they're not at big tournaments like the Al Smith and stuff, but I've seen him wrestle a lot, and he'll give Laughlin everything he wants. I mean, he gave Laughlin a pretty good match last year, I'm pretty certain. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. I'll get to see him this weekend because we match up with Leo, so it should be it'll be interesting to see where he lay. You can't deny it. You can't overlook him, or you're going to be in trouble because he's a returning placer. He placed 7th, I think, last year. So definitely one to watch out for. Should have been number 1. Should have been number 2 since he was the only other undefeated.
Yeah, Brad Laughlin's not undefeated either, but
yeah. So it's always fun looking at the board and seeing the post, and then the one I look at is the Wilderman question about why he's not over Tante. I thought I saw you commented a few times.
Yeah.
Go ahead, and I'll add my 2 cents to it also. But
Yeah, but I'm not. For some reason, it becomes like I don't like Evansville, and I always find that funny because I have so much respect for one. I have more respect than probably any team in the state than for modern day. But you know, I think someone posted like, it has to be someone up north. Like I think Evansville's the absolute furthest south part of Indiana, right?
yes,
So everyone's up north. But when I did it, usually I don't like to jump guys a lot, and I don't even know if we might have I had Wilderman like 16 at the time, and then the match was so back and forth. I think the score is kind of deceiving. If you weren't there, I think the score is a little deceiving to what the match was. I think, and obviously he beat him, so I think Tristan being a state runner-up, beating Cam Jones on the turnaround, which I thought, obviously Cam was number 1 at 95, then went back to 82. I just kind of moved him back to 1, and then I moved Curtis Wilderman, but I guess I didn't move him up high enough for those guys that were kind of giving me the business a little bit.
yeah,
But I think I explained it pretty well. Ben Stewart, every time I've seen him, he's looked like a semifinalist to me. In my opinion, I thought he's looked great. And obviously he came into high school with a ton of hype, and he's very like offensive. So when you see him, you're like, wow, this guy's really good. He's undefeated. They wrestle one of the best lineup or schedules. They're at almost everything that's big. So I was like, okay, I'll put this guy up here. Garrison Lee dropped a little bit after McCormick from Brownsburg had beat him, but then turned around and beat Schaefer. Schaefer's out now, so he moved up. And Jake Caven's undefeated, and he was an All-American. So I thought I laid it out pretty good. I mean, I know Wilderman's only losses to the Kentucky kid. I mean, he could have been a number 1, but I don't know. I guess I didn't go that way.
yeah. No, that's it. It's one of the things that towards the end of the season, when you start, everyone's beating each other. You kind of look more, as a whole resume. I'd say, instead of, I know even when I'm doing the semi-state rankings, they'll, when you're looking at, especially when you're looking at like the lower, 6 through 10, or for state rankings, you're looking through 17 through 20. You're like, oh, someone will say, oh, so and so beat him, but then they fail to tell you that guy that beat the other guy has 5 really bad losses, or even 1 or 2 really bad losses, and it becomes more of a, how's your whole resume? You've beaten so many guys, in the rankings or on the watch list, lost to one that's probably not, not an unexpected loss, and now, things like that is one thing. I mean, I know we were going back and forth after we released the final rankings, and you're like, I get more complaints about 17 through 20 than I do any, the other 16 spots combined. So,
and it's not a matter of, and I think that's what it becomes, is like, well, this person, like it becomes like I don't want their kid or their guy to be ranked high. Like I have some personal vendetta, which I have 0. Probably the nicest kid that I personally know in that weight is Jake Clamola, and I don't even know him like personally like that, but I'm around Lake Central a little bit more. They have me doing some announcing, and he's always really a good guy. And I don't have him like, well, I'm just gonna put him number 1. He's my guy. He's number 1 now. So I don't ever do it like that. Wilderman's day at IHSWCA, that's the only match I've seen of him, was Colby Ferris, and it was a tight match. Colby Ferris did that right to the end. Then he pinned Jeremy Torres from Portage, and then beat Tante. And like I said, I thought it was a close match. It could have went either way. I mean, I guess I could have flip-flopped him and put Jake Cavens number 1. He's undefeated from Milan.
yeah.
Hickory.
Yeah. So, what are you looking forward to this week? Any big matches regional-wise? I mean, I guess, 145, the rematches, Vaughn and Timberman, Jolie, and Bethel. Anything that's jumping out that I know I did for the Fort Wayne. I kind of was looking for, our personal death draws. Who don't we want to draw into? We need to place, this high, or we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Any big matches you're looking forward to this weekend, Mike?
Some of the stuff I look for early on is like, especially from the ranking side, like Seth Wrench not showing up. That could have got someone else in the rankings. I didn't know I don't know why he wasn't there. I know he had a really good record. I know he's a semi-state guy. A couple of years ago before he didn't wrestle last year. So right off top, you have two ranked matchups with Davey Clayton and Ethan Smiley, which will be good. I think they're 14 and 16 and 14 and 17, which off top would be a good match for first round. So one of those guys are going to be going home. I think Davey had a bad sectional. And then with Damler and Reams I think came in at like 18 or 19, and Damler being 6 would be a first round matchup that I'm kind of looking at where, I'm going to lose a ranked guy. I try to do the best of getting all the ranked guys there, not seeing the draws, not seeing injuries, anything like that. A couple guys pulling out right before the tournament. We lost, the Peru kid, Jordan Rader. So that was one of those things too. It was very we had to do a couple switch ups. Mason Miranda getting pulled out, being injured. So we kind of moved some guys around. Calumet has a lot of good matchups I would like to see. Obviously, I'm doing the Crown Point thing. Crown Point I have some, but the LaPorte sectional, outside of the Chesterton kids, I don't really know too much about the New Prairie guys or John Glenn kids. So it's going to be a lot of rematches from Crown Point, where now you're pulling at Calumet, you're pulling Maryville and you're pulling Lake Central, and so you'll get like De La Pena and Torres. The first three have been really good. I would like to see that. Over there. But I feel like a lot of the sectionals, you'll have like one like decent sectional and one really good sectional, so it kind of matches up like that, and in our area at least, in the East Chicago semi-state area.
Still getting used to that East Chicago semi-state.
Yeah, it's I catch myself saying Maryville a lot.
It seems like we in the Fort Wayne area, I think the Delta and Jay County matchup, I think their top twos are all pretty solid. I mean, I would say there's going to be a pretty close to even split as far as who wins number of matches. New Haven, Carroll's a little bit better, but there's a lot of rematches with conference and stuff. Someone's going night. With conferences and just some matches of kids that go back and forth, so that always matches up. Peru and Oak Hill kind of the same. I think at Goshen, Westview is definitely weaker than the Elkhart sectional. We got Prairie Heights and then a bunch of other teams pretty much. So gotta give a shout out to Prairie Heights. They got all 14 guys through. I don't care if you call that a weak sectional or not. It's getting 14 guys through is always pretty tough.
They've done a really good job over there, honestly. I was really impressed with those guys when I seen them.
Yeah.
Both times I seen them this year, they were really impressive.
So, how's the Mooresville stacking up? What matches are you looking forward to, Nick?
I was just going through all that. I think you'll have Mills and Garcia 19 or something. I think it's 5. I think this will be the 5th time they've wrestled, right?
Yeah.
Or the 5th time maybe. But you'll have Bryson Denny and Asa Garcia in the semis, it looks like. Denny's only loss is to the Yorktown kid, who's not bad. He actually beat Ty at Mooresville.
Curtis, yeah.
Yeah, so that could be a good match. We'll have to see. So that could be a good match. I think I still favor Asa in that match, but that'll be one that's good to see. But I think, again, you'll see Mills and Garcia in the finals there. 13, I think the match that's going to end up happening is Weaver and Moscone. Moscone 30-0 against Weaver's 32-3. He has a loss out of state. He got pinned by the Plainfield kid at County. And his loss to Turner. I think that's a good match right there. Could go either way. Clearly, I'm gonna pull for Weaver, but I think that could go either way.
Conductor the pain train.
Choo choo. Weaver has not wrestled well in the regionals his whole career. Every year he's found a way to screw something up. So history is not on his side, but you have to think the senior going into this is the favorite to come out. Saying that as a Brownsburg coach kind of makes it hypocritical, but I think you have to pick the senior over on this one, at least going with it. I mean, he has 3 losses, but you have to remember the schedule that we've wrestled. I mean, we wrestled at the team state duels, and we've had a lot of tough matches for him, and he's 32-3. That's an impressive record. Not to take anything away from Moscone. That's a fantastic wrestling family, but I mean, that's my gut feeling is yet to go. We've run that, but I wouldn't hold it past to see Moscone walking away as a regional champ.
That's exciting. That is a good one.
Yeah. I think the Stephen Weddle Keaton Fisher match at 120 is going to be good. I think Mulkey makes his way to the finals pretty easily, and realistically, I think he wins the finals easily. But again, that's why I wrestle the matches. I think whoever wins out of Fisher and Weddle will give him a decent match. But I think people are probably going to pick Keaton just based on records, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Weddle pull that upset and make it to the finals. The next one is a good weight class, 26. You got Gomez and Hutkins probably going to meet in the finals. I think Gomez has only lost this to Hutkins at County, so that'll be interesting to see again. I don't remember. I don't think it was that close if I remember correctly, but I don't think it was. But that'll be the match to see probably is Gomez versus Hutkins at that weight.
That's a good first round though. Tony Moscone and Bigelow.
Yeah, that'll be a good first round. That's one I think. That'll be close. Moscone again, 31-6. Bigelow 24-11. You're probably not gonna pick him, but I'm gonna again say, man, we wrestle a tough schedule, and some of those losses are good losses. I mean, he's wrestled Malloy, he's wrestled Gomez or Hutkins. Guys, keep screwing up names. He's wrestled Gomez, I think, too, but it's been tough. So he's got some losses on, but they're pretty decent losses. That could go either way. It wouldn't surprise me either way. See how that ends up. 32. I think you're gonna get Malloy and probably Conley in the finals again. Lorimer of Southport has a good record, but I think Conley has wrestled him before. Connor wrestled him and beat him, so he's beatable. Conley and Allen have had a good match in the past. I think you're going to see Malloy, Conley in the finals, and I think the best match probably in that might be at Allen versus Schrader, 29-8, 25-10. No clear favorites. Again, I think Allen's my guy. He's one of the kids I've trained his whole life, so it's kind of unfair for me to make picks here, but I think that's going to be the closest match probably in the first round, so we'll see. And I don't know much about the Lorimer kid or David Roth. He won a sectional, but he's only 18-7, so you could see that senior pull off an upset there in the first round as well.
David Roth's pretty tough. He was at Round Cali before, right?
Yeah, I think so. But
some nice matches at Al Smith.
But yeah, I think again this might just be a little bit of the homer in me picking Conley and Malloy to be in the finals. I'm just really impressed with Conley as a freshman.
Yeah.
He's real impressive as a freshman. I'm not saying he's going to win any state titles or anything anytime soon, but he'll definitely be a name to be afraid of. He's one that's going to keep me awake the next 3 years, trying to coach against him. So that's there. Let's see. At 38, I think it's the Brayton Lee show. I mean, anything can happen. I said it last year before semi-state, and the Lee Kryptonite shut me up real quick. But I think it's the Brayton Lee show here. I think it's a race for second. I think that might be the Center Grove kid, but Trevor Reese could also pull that off, I think. So, actually, I don't know. Trevor Reese may have beaten the Center Grove kid. I have to go back and look, but I didn't really see. 45, interesting. Wilkerson and King could be a good match. Cullen's got 10 losses, but looked good in the finals. Looks like he should have been a sectional champ. So I'm going to be interesting to see if that can happen. It looks like Mooresville Sectional is going to be the favorite here to come out with champs. They might even have 2 in the finals. 52, Elijah Dunn and Jacob Clark. If they meet in the finals, that could be a good match. Elijah Dunn's a monster, I think, but I think he's kind of a funk wrestler, so we could see him get caught. I mean, when you wrestle with Funk and Jacob Clark's got some nice throws, he can catch it from anywhere.
That's a good first round. Ethan Stock's pretty good from Monrovia.
Ethan Stockton, him will be a good one. Like I said, you can catch Clark off ground. Like I said, he's got mean throws, but that can also put him in trouble. Dalton Duncan put him in trouble a couple times, but just wasn't able to pull it away. And he's another one who could catch someone and put him on their back and be an upset. He may not be the most technically fit kid. You don't think about him being there, but he's got some moves that he can put a kid on his back and end his season real quick. So you could watch him and see that. I know he had Clark a little bit worried there in the beginning of their match, so that could be good. 60, I think, is Mooresville region sectional all the way through. I think the only shot for Avon is for Archie Glover and Eli Stock, and that is by no means a guaranteed win for the sectional, even champ versus the 4. Eli Stock's a decent wrestler. He got 7th, I think, at the Mooresville Holiday Classic when we got 5th. Didn't wrestle. So it could be a good match. That'll be the one to watch there in that round. Anyways, and you have Caden Whitaker, Mapes, and Van Horn. I think those are the top 3. I think whoever loses in the semis between Mapes and Whitaker gets 3rd. So there's that. 70, I think Nathan Walton has a good match against Jonah Hayes, but I think he's wrestling well right now. I don't think anyone touches him, but if anyone's going to, it's going to be Jonah Hayes, I think. He had a good match with Walton in the Zionsville tournament earlier this year.
That's a good way, too. The top 4 there should be pretty good.
Yeah. 82, I think CJ Damler wins it. It could be close there. Goforth looked okay in the finals. He had a good win against Reams, but I think CJ Damler walks through this tournament and makes it on as a champion. 95, I think this is a good weight here. I think you got a good match in the semis between Kramer and McCormick. And then I think winner of that wrestles Garrison Lee. Like I said, Garrison Lee is the big win over Schaefer, but he also took a pretty big beating by McCormick at Mooresville. So it'll be interesting to see. Sorry, I'm getting criticized in text messages.
Sure.
Not only just from us, you get it from all angles.
I get it from everyone. Sorry, Quentin. I do love you. I love you, Quentin. Like I said, I think there's no guarantees. Like I said, it was a big win. McCormick put a lot of points on Garrison Lee at Mooresville, but I don't think that's any indication that he's going to do it again. I mean, he wrestled well. Garrison Mason and I have been feeling well that round. I think that's definitely a winnable match for McCormick, but he's going to have to be on there. And to have to go through Kramer first, man, it's a tough regional right there to have to go through those two to win it. But I think it's possible, and I think out of those 3, any of them can win. It's just going to depend who shows up to wrestle that day. We get to the end here. I think you got a decent weight at 220. I think McCubbins and Larson's probably meets in the finals, but you have Clayton Scroggs, who's got 1 loss, and McCubbins has 2 losses. If anyone's going to put down Gunnar Larson, it might be one of those 2. But I think the favorite by far is Gunnar Larson. Big match that a lot of people probably won't know about is Cicerelli and Heinrichs at Center Grove. Heinrichs was ranked 10th earlier in the year. Has a couple losses and kind of fell off, but Cicerelli and him had a triple overtime match at Zionsville with Heinrichs winning. I expect it to be that same kind of close match again, so that'll be a good match to watch. But I think Gunnar Larson's your favorite. McCubbins and Scroggs going 2-3, and then whoever wins out of that one, I think, gets 4th. And then at heavyweight again, I mean, you got Henson and York there. I think they're the clear favorites there, and then kind of battling out for 3rd and 4th. York made it to state last year, didn't he?
Yeah,
he medaled.
Yeah.
Medal.
That's right, he did medal. He beat, because he got like what, 5th, 7th? Something like that. 6, yeah.
Penn kid.
That's right, because I remember when we was the Penn kid. Okay, so Quinn York, I do have a funny story about Quinn York. We beat him in the regional his freshman year. It was his freshman year, I think. And I remember he was wrestling our heavyweight, who was a big band geek, and he just looked over at his coach, and they told him to shoot, and he said, "I'm trying to," but he's so awkward, and he wasn't wrong, and it made me laugh really hard. So I've always been a big Quinn York fan after that. But I think him and Henson would be a good match. Henson can keep it close and basically beat anybody, I think. But I think Quinn York is he's a monster of a human when you watch him wrestle. So I think that'll be the match to see at heavyweight. And I hope people don't leave for that heavyweight match just because it's the big heavyweights. Because I think those two are athletic enough that it'll be an interesting match. And then again, I think it's just a round for a race for third and fourth there. But those are my predictions at Mooresville. So
Team race should be pretty interesting down there too. Obviously, with you guys and Avon.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Looking at it, I think we're the favorites here in this. I think we'll have more guys advance, but you can't. I mean, I was telling Derek, like I said, I told Derek before the final round at Avon, I go, we've never had a team that's been able to do the kind of thing we need them to do, and they did it. They surprised me. But if you'd have told me we were gonna wrestle the way we did at the sectional and win it, I'd have told you you're crazy. So it wouldn't surprise me if we don't wrestle well and get beat here. It wouldn't be a shock to me at all. So it's definitely not a foregone conclusion who's going to win.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, Avon has 14, you have 13, then Franklin Central has 10.
Just Franklin Community, bro.
Center Grove and Ben Davis have 9. Past that, everyone's pretty even. I mean, it'd almost take to challenge you guys or Avon, it's going to take you guys losing like 5 or 6 guys and then the other team's almost going, 100%. That's the kind of, don't want to get on that subject, but at the same time, without wrestlebacks and stuff, it's hard to really see, I mean, it takes, I mean, we go into our regional, pretty much it's the same thing. We have 13, and their team has 10, and then a bunch of them have 9, 8, 7, 6. All we have to do is advance half our kids, and we're gonna have it sealed up after that first round. Hour and a half into the meet. So kind of lackluster unless somehow all the teams advance. Almost the exact same number of kids.
I'm just excited to root for the Monrovia kid to beat the Ben Davis kids so that we can win. That's what I'm excited for.
Oh, goodness. Getting you on your soapbox. I was, so we don't leave out Indianapolis and might get a bunch of texts.
Indy stinks, and so does Newcastle. I said it. Deal with it. I'm just
we don't want to leave out we do have the west side of Indianapolis, right? Yeah, west. Okay. Covered, but the west side goes down south. They're kind of like the Southerners. The Perry Meridian Regional is going to be loaded. You have Perry and Warren Central meeting up for the first time in the state tournament. So you're going to have obviously Tante and I'm sure that he's not exactly loved a lot much in Perry.
You gotta love the guy.
Yeah, I mean I don't think they totally hate him, but they're not exactly going to root for him to beat Perry. But I mean, they both bring 14 in. You also throw in teams like
New Pal,
Franklin Central,
Greenfield Central had a good showing at sectional.
Yeah, so it's a real good sectional or regional. You're gonna have a ton of Perry
Good
versus
matches.
Warren matches, and then you're gonna throw in kids from Franklin Central or Greenfield Central or some other good kids from the other teams, because probably has 30 schools, and not 30. It probably has close to 25 schools in their regional. So
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna have Turner, Alec White, Sonny Neer, 13. Turner got revenge on White last week. So,
Yeah. A lot of guys getting their first loss last week, right?
yeah, it seemed like a lot of undefeateds.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys kind of already skipped over Sammy Fair, Kenya Murphy at 6.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one, too.
Yeah, that's gonna be. What's their record with it? Because Murphy has 2 losses.
2 losses.
One's to Fair, one's to Ty.
Yeah.
Sammy Fair's 27-4.
He has 2 to Walziniak, right? Walziniak.
Yeah.
And then 1 to Hassan Johnson from Illinois.
And 1 to Kenyon.
Yep, and 1 to Murphy.
Yeah. So that's gonna be a fun one. Yeah, Cameron Deep came back from shoulder, elbow injury, whatever. He's back, which is good to see him back in the wrestling. He took a loss last week, but we'll probably be. I mean, he'll be getting better. As a good thing for if you have an injury like that, you can keep getting better each week.
Yeah,
sleeping on Chris Sharp, man. I was sleeping on Chris Sharp.
Yeah.
Big shout out though to Cam Deep, man. It's good to see. I was heartbroken to see when he got injured. I'm happy he's back in the tournament. So
that's a good first round though too. Tross McMillan from Pike is really good.
Yeah.
Not like he's a world beater. Like I'm not saying like but he's had some really good wins. Obviously he beat Dave Clayton last week. That's a tough first round match.
This Chad Red fella. We're gonna spend more time talking about him than he spent on the mat last week.
Yeah.
32 seconds in 3 matches.
Who is the guy who had the best response to that? I don't know. I can't find it. Someone had a great response to that I won't go into because we're probably a family show, but it was the greatest response to that ever.
What, Triple B, that he spent 32 seconds on the mat one time? And 2 forfeits?
Yes. Yeah, he had like injury defaults and stuff. But give him some, he probably took him longer to get on and off the mat because of.
Shout out to Triple B.
He spent more time getting his singlets on.
Yeah, so no, that's pretty. To say that's impressive is an understatement.
Yeah. Well, they said a couple other, like they said, Kovac did that also, and so did Streck. So I mean, just the level of some of these guys' dominance is crazy.
Yeah.
What about Brooke Brank and Wright? That should be a good match.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That'll be a good one. And then you earn the right to see if you can last past 15 seconds against Red. I'm putting my track shoes on. I'll give up 3 stall calls in that first 15 seconds.
Turn around and run and just get stalled out.
I think that's good, but I think he's faster than any of us. So
yes.
Also.
I'm going 2-on-1 just holding that thing till I'm looking at that clock. Okay, 15 seconds. I'm done.
I'm gonna tell you the new pal kid I'm most scared of is Alec White. If we're gonna be honest, but he also last time I saw him, he beat me in the back with a kendo stick so hard that I had a welt for about 3 weeks. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. he had a dream job. Everyone wants to do that.
Oh, it put Snyder to his knees. He was laughing so hard. I cried, but it was worth it. It was funny.
Yeah, 38, McKinney and Ellis round probably 7. That should be a good one. Throw in Logan Hurley, another good weight, 45. Timberman, Vaughn, round 3. They're 1-1, and also Kane Rust. He'll get Timberman in the semis. Just all these weights are just loaded. Brett Johnson, Trent Pruitt. Eugene Starks at 52. Just looking at it's going to be a good regional. Definitely going to be a good team race because my guess is both teams advanced 12 to 14 of their guys.
This is the guys that create bad draws.
Yes.
These are the guys that are like, great, I'm a semi-state qualifier, I'm a regional champ. I got to wrestle. I don't know, Nick Ellis or Matt McKinney to go.
Yeah. No, that's the regional that I know if I'm at Newcastle, I don't want to draw into. And number 2, if I'm a champ. If they're 3s, if you're a regional champ, you're probably about even. The 2s are just as good as the 1s here. And that's
Noah Warren, Don Herrick.
Yeah. Just looking through their brackets, it's, top to bottom. Their 1s and 2s are pretty good. Even their 3s and a lot of their 3s, but I know that's the semi-state draw, the website crasher. Everyone wants to know what's going on there. That draw is just it makes and breaks your season for one piece of paper. Looks like Mike went MIA. Any things you're looking forward to, Nick, on this week? Any message board topics you want to talk about?
Let's see. Well, WWE Fastlane's in a couple of weeks. I'm really excited to see what they do with that. Triple H is the new world champion, which is insane. 13th time.
13th? Wow.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's not much. I'm just kind of hanging out. If you can't see, there's this really beautiful thing on my eye that's growing. So if you guys want to learn how to get impetigo, I'm your guy. So.
Yeah. No. Regional. Looking forward. Oh, there's Mike. He's back.
Sorry, guys.
We're just adding any other last words of wisdom. Anything else you're looking forward to this week? Any topics you want to divulge in? Class wrestling, SAC versus Carroll. Pick the 3 biggest topics right now.
Yeah.
Shave
Those
ice.
are topics.
Wilderman, we already went over that. What grades random wrestlers are at?
Just a couple of things. The articles this week were great. I want to say the Richard J one was probably the best one we've done. I've done. I have nothing to do with that.
You stink.
But it was really good.
Yes, definitely. All 3 articles this week. We definitely had the special Richard J one. Got a lot of real positive feedback on that. I definitely enjoy hearing stories like that, and that's that's more than just about a random like we had about nothing against having an article about Ripel, but I mean it definitely takes another turn, and it's a more than just an article. It's a story, a little bit of take those moments. You never know when they're going to happen. That things like that happen. Also Bill Flatt at South Bend, Riley, always producing good kids, good solid kids, and it's interesting. The coaching approach is not they're not a cookie cutter type coach. You gotta. I mean, Nick knows he's probably wrestled 1,000 Riley kids. With Trace. Oh
God, I wrestled Trace Hall like 19 times. Coach Flatt's a great coach for what he's done in the place he's at. Man, I don't like talking ish about a school corporation, but South Bend is not an easy place to coach at. He's done amazing with what he's been given, and year in year out he's always producing kids who are state placers or state qualifiers, so you never would expect, and helping these kids who are otherwise probably do terrible things do something good with their life. So big shout out to him. I will say it was nice to read that Richard J article. Being from Mishawaka, Tim Creaston, I've talked to him a lot. He's done some interviews with me and everything, and it's to hear about that. I didn't know a lot about Richard growing up. I just always knew of the Matt Burns stuff, man. The things he talks about, they're evocative to me. I remember the Matt Burns thing being at Maryville. I remember all that stuff. And now to be able to kind of put a person behind it, and it's sad that he's gone. It kind of helps ground that into reality and kind of give you an idea of like the kind of work that person put into it, because it's not easy to do what that guy did, especially with what Joe's doing here with the use of the internet and everything. That guy did it with pen and paper and snail mail. So. Yep,
definitely. I know. Creason's talked to me about that he has like boxes and boxes of memorabilia, records, and things, and I know we have people that we're talking to about making sure that stuff is not thrown in the dumpster or anything. So, and in the future, I mean, very well could be might take years and scan. I mean, I know he always asks for the brackets for sectional and regional with the records and stuff. So. I'm sure he has those. I mean, that's not something he would probably most likely throw away. So, we could easily be scanning those types of those brackets and stuff and putting them on Indiana Mat. So then you can see that I pinned my way through sectional my senior year. I was a third day.
So, Joe, you can answer this question for me. Is he the guy who put out the book that had all the results in it before?
Not the state results. That is the Ancient Elder.
No, but he would do an orange book with brothers wins most.
I remember that. Okay, because I remember the Ancient Elders book was in the Mishawaka High School library. So I remember I pulled that out so I could find Derek getting 7th and going, haha, I was better than you. And then and then he gets mad at me. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Smart.
About articles, are you gonna keep doing this all like through the off season and everything, or is this just gonna be something that goes on during the season?
Just mainly during the season, we'll probably do a wrap up after the state, and then maybe a couple more if there are pertinent things to talk about or have people to talk about. I mean, the website traffic's not conducive to having the articles and stuff on there.
Now, if someone does an article, would you like if someone wrote something on their own, would you be willing to look at it and think about doing it for one of those things, or is this something you just want to kind of wait on and kind of hand out to people you know?
Yeah, we did a few in the off season last year in a little bit preseason, but it's more or less if there's a good story, there's someone that we want to do an article on, we'll do it. It's just our traffic and there's not people after the state series traffic goes on the website, so it's not as conducive to do those articles during the off season. But we will look at that if there is an opportunity, if there's some big news going on, things like that. So
some of you English majors out there, get written on it.
Yeah, we can definitely take some.
We take unpaid internships.
Yeah, unpaid. Hey, put your resume.
We'll pay you in Indiana Mac gear.
You're gonna get so many like crap. Wrestling's cool. I like wrestling. Joe, where's my shirt?
Yes. No. There's some good ones. I know Hook and Half does a great job with his previews.
If I hear about how good Evansville Modern Day is, I'm gonna.
I'm trying to purchase the book, so I love the Hook and Half thing. I think it's awesome.
He does an awesome job. I definitely need to kick him some gear, maybe.
He's got a great.
If he's watching, see if he'll poke me about it.
Oh God, he's got a great voice in his writing that I really enjoy reading. Even though I know he's a Modern Day fan, and I just eternally have to not like him because of that. I have to respect him though. Those dudes beat our butts multiple times, but.
Yes. I'm excited for the articles. I mean, we had one on Blake Ripel tonight, and I didn't know some of the he was a basketball player. I mean, you never know what I figure about 90% of the wrestlers were at least tried playing basketball, and he had some brothers and sisters that were good basketball players. So that's interesting that he has taken up wrestling. And I did like the quote about from Coach McGinley about he just kind of makes things up, and I've said this about Blake since I've seen him, even wrestling. He's very mat savvy, and he just hits stuff that he'll Peterson people that he shouldn't Peterson. In the third or fourth place match at Super 32, he's hitting a Peterson on kids. And things like that. I was like, man, this kid he's very mat savvy. He pinned the Western kid, Corey Hinkle, last year 2 years ago in the semifinals with a Peterson. So
he's a wrestling hippie. He's the kind of guy who's like, I don't know, man, I just feel the moves. He doesn't try to hit them, he just feels them, and whatever feels good, he's gonna hit.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, he just I don't know. It's interesting to see that he doesn't. He's definitely not, especially for a big guy. I mean, I know he was kind of smaller when he was younger, and he kind of really grew.
I've gotten to know Blake a little bit just through through Flow and Super 32, him being there, and I kind of went with Red and all those guys, so I got to kind of hang out with him while they were doing all that stuff, and yeah, he's an awesome kid, and he's got a lot of talent, and that's like, I'm not joking when he is like, he just is like, I don't know, I'm just gonna try to hit this move. And like, if I tried that, I'd be pinned in 40 seconds. He's like, I don't know, I'm just gonna try this, and then he pins the kid, and it's insane. He just kind of feels what he wants to do and then does it.
Yeah, definitely. A good kid. I've obviously had some conversations with him. Anyway, Mike, any other last words of wisdom before we wrap it up? People are getting probably tired of looking at us.
Yeah, I got just a quick shout out. I got to meet Ruben Rodriguez at the Hobart Invite. Great guy. Sent me a thing on Twitter. Also, they let me know that their 112 was cutting to 106, or 113 was cutting to 106. Angel Perez, and obviously he jumped up in the rankings because he had some good wins early on. He's had some good wins at 113, and I just said I'd give them the shout out. So
Oh, so you're coming here and shout outs. They paying you? Or?
no, everyone paying me with niceness, man, kindness.
No, Ruben Rod, he always says good things about the website, and I know he's always retweeting and favoriting our tweets and stuff. There's a few names that you see whenever you tweet something that always show up, and his is one of them. So definitely a big supporter of wrestling, not only Indiana Mat, but just total Indiana in general. So
Which is great, man, because I think that like people really go and they watch these, or they go to the site and really enjoy it, which I always love, man.
yeah.
Shout out to Braden.
Oh, we're doing shout outs now?
Shout out to Braden Bailey's grandma.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
always.
Number one fan.
Biggest fan.
Number one fan and number one in our hearts.
Yes, can't do that. Can't forget about her. Anyway, we will start wrapping this up next week. We'll probably try to get on a little bit earlier in the week. I don't know what our schedules are like. I just know I'll be crazily preparing for semi-state, hopefully with a bunch of guys. Hopefully we don't get beat by the SAC too poorly.
Actually, I got a General shirt on right now.
Yes, you do. General trained.
It's not. It's an old Indiana Mat shirt under here.
Your Heavy Hands Incorporated. So.
No, but I think that brings entertainment to the site, these back and forths, because sometimes it does get stale on the board hearing the same things. I know it's not always the best thing, but back and forth of it's always entertaining for me on a slow work week.
Oh, definitely. I know more than one person has said that it was good. So we will wrap this up. We will be back.
Just as real close, someone sent me a message. Wall and Zach.
Yeah. So next week, I don't know what we'll do for our semi-state. We might have a couple different shows, so we can kind of. I mean, last year we kind of went through some semi-states kind of faster. So maybe we'll go do 4 of them, one a night. We'll have.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I know my wife would love that.
I'm always down for that. I love semi-state. It's like my favorite.
Yeah, maybe we will. I don't know. We'll figure it out after we close down shop right now. So anyway, everyone have a great week. Good luck at regional. There's 1,790 wrestlers wrestling this weekend, and we will cut that in half. So it'll be fun. Good luck to everyone, and we'll see you guys next week.